and I've seen the Change Programme in action. And one of the messages I really wanted to give over today is the way you've been leaning into inclusion, to thinking differently about building multidisciplinary teams, to supporting children with social and emotional needs, to really pushing the boat in terms of how we make a difference on the ground. All of the ideas, all of the innovations have fed directly into what we set out in the school's white paper, and I really hope that when you look at the Experts at Hand service, which we've put in place where we're trying to wrap multidisciplinary teams around schools, when you look at some of the direct funding we're putting into schools so they can support children better, you look at the work we're doing around consistency around the country and developing that evidence base, you can see yourselves, your ideas, your words and your thinking within our plan. So just a massive thank you for the partnership, and I can see here disabled children's organisations, I can see colleagues from parent carer forums, local authorities, health, and that is the partnership we need to support children better with special educational needs and disabilities.
Our proudest moment on the Change Programme has been about how we've brought people together to work together in partnership rather than trying to tackle things individually by ourselves. So we've been able to bring in our parent carer forum and really work alongside them rather than approaching them and asking them for ideas. It's been about working truly in collaboration.
Two key reflections on the day. The first one being it's someone who's been on the programme for the whole time, the whole 3 years. It's been really pleasing to see a whole group of local authorities, DfE, coming together and working in such a collaborative way. It was always the aim of the programme, one of the overarching aims of the programme, and it's real confirmation of that we got to that place, and really good to see all the colleagues in the room working together right to the last.
So my reflections on today are that there is definitely a sense of an ending as being in REACh and that partnership, and how lovely it was to be in person together to really celebrate what we've achieved. I thought that was so important. But also looking at the task ahead, the expertise and the commitment from the local areas, to make this work, to make those reforms work for the sake of the children.
I think there have been many, but I would say the thing I'm proudest of is how the various initiatives that we've been able to work on with our schools, and particularly with a task group of head teachers, has really galvanised the relationship, I think, between schools and local authority. And so I've seen some real shifts in culture, I think I would say, from when we started the programme to where we are now, in terms of trust. And yeah, I think just the real strengthening of that understanding of what we're trying to achieve together. And I think we've moved from collaboration or from competition to collaboration, and we've definitely moved from labelling to learning. Those have been really positive.
My reflections on the event today were really one of reassurance and of excitement about what's coming next. I feel incredibly reassured by the level of expertise, by the level of care, and by the amount of curiosity and excitement there is about building a system which is based on really solid foundations.
So the Change Programme has enabled us to move away from offering traded services into our schools. We've been able to offer much more of a core offer. Our experts at hands that we have in Telford and Wrekin have been able to enable themselves into our primary, secondary and specialist schools as well. We've also been able to change our outreach approach so that we'll be offering outreach to more of our schools, using our specialist schools to support that. Our learning support advice teachers have been able to offer much more whole school offers to training and support our teachers and our staff as well. I've been able to really work hard with our health teams at the ICB to develop our LSET model, which we're really proud of in Telford, because the LSET model is a partnership working between education teams and speech language therapists, which had a really big impact on our smaller schools and our early years areas and partners as well.
I'd absolutely agree. I think the thing that really stood out for me was also how so many local areas are thinking about the learnings that they've gathered throughout the Change Programme, and how they're going to disseminate that across not only their own partnerships but also to wider areas, thinking about collating their knowledge and how they're going to share that out. I think that's beautiful.
So my reflections on today are that there is definitely a sense of an ending as being in REACh and that partnership, and how lovely it was to be in person together to really celebrate what we've achieved. I thought that was so important. But also looking at the task ahead, the expertise and the commitment from the local areas, to make this work, to make those reforms work for the sake of the children.
So the proudest moment of the Change Programme was talking to senior civil servants, so Director Generals, directors, and also ministers about the learnings we found from the Change Programme and how that could implement into the white paper and into the future reforms.
Okay, so this is the wrap up of the Change Programme. What do you feel like you've learnt from delivering such a complex programme?
I think for me, reflecting on today, but also over the last 2.5 years, the one thing that has really struck me is how different local areas have approached reform in complex systems in a really different way. But what's powerful is it's really testing, learning and growing the different interventions and initiatives that local areas have been doing.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point. I think whatever policy you set in government, it needs to get translated into what's really happening in local areas, from Gateshead to Gloucestershire, and that can't be one size fits all. I think that balance of being able to give these areas some shared direction, get them working on things that are similar enough that there's real learning that they can share with each other, but then actually support them on the ground to make that fit for their children and young people, for their schools and settings. I think that takes a real team effort, and I think that's what we've been able to provide as well.